There were two good things to come out of the Phantom Menace. First one was Darth Maul. The second one was the Duel of the Fates. Both of those things have one thing in common: Darth Maul. Welcome back to The Order, where we talk about all things awesome and collectible. Today's dish of choice is going to be the Darth Maul Shadow Collective lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge. We're going to take a look at all the pros and cons, and we're going to hopefully help you work out whether or not this is something that you need to have as part of your collection, or whether it can be a hard pass. If you enjoy the video, it'd be a massive help if you could drop me a like and subscribe.
Help a veteran get a warm meal.
Let's get it. It does come in a beautiful grey crate. This one's seen better days. Looks like it was mauled by a bear, and I'm pretty sure that was me when I was trying to get it out because I was just too excited. But the crate's beautiful. It has a very classy kind of imperial design to it. It's very in keeping with the Star Wars universe. Comes with Maul's custom logo on the front, and then we go in. Inside the crate, you have your hilt, Allen key, and connector. And the reason for these will become obvious later on. So with the hilt, you get a blade plug, which I'm going to take out because this one's a little bit loose. The hilt itself is a very novel design, and unlike anything else that we've seen either from Galaxy's Edge or from most other lightsaber designs. And I say that because it has a very industrial feel to it. It's got this kind of gunmetal grey, almost exhaust like piping up here towards the top of the emitter. And down here you've got the nice handle, but there is nothing about this that strikes personality. This is a tool, nothing more. From a weight point of view and from a balancing point of view, there's a significant degree of weight down here at the bottom. This is all metal. This is a rubberized feeling on the handle. Obviously you've got your polished steel, these faux wires that have been worked in there. And all of that kind of it makes this lightsaber feel like it's been cobbled together. Maybe it's been cobbled together in the back streets of Coruscant, who knows? But in terms of the history of this lightsaber, there actually isn't that much known about it. This design was used by Asajj Ventress. Yellow for her, and it was her reforged lightsaber. And then weirdly, Darth Maul appeared with this at the end of the Clone Wars. And it was never seen again. One of the coolest features about this though, and the bit that kind of has the extra showmanship for this, that again, no other lightsaber from the Galaxy's Edge Legacy line has this feature, is this exposed kyber crystal design. Look at that. Absolutely awesome. I love it. I love an exposed kyber crystal on a lightsaber. Is a brilliant, brilliant feature. So you can just about see it in the daylight there with nothing on. Sad thing is, with the Legacy line, they don't do anything when you press ignition. Something magical does happen when you stick a blade in this and you ignite it. So let's take a quick look at the lights and sounds. Now, a lot of people have various issues with the Legacy line, and one of the biggest issues is that they have pretty naff sound cards, or whatever you want to call them, and they're nowhere near to smooth swing, and they really should be for the price. But where they make up for this is the instant playability. They have pop and lock blade design. I think that's an incredible ignition sound, I really do. Even when you disengage the lightsaber, really awesome sound. So it is picking up a bit of motion there. So that's okay, you know, for Galaxy's Edge, that's actually pretty good, believe it or not. And then alright, the clash effects aren't too bad there, but this is the bit that I really enjoy. Look at that. There's that kyber crystal igniting just when you ignite the lightsaber. It follows in motion, so the timing of this is a fraction ahead. So this lights, then the blade lights. Only by like a second maybe, but it's also the last thing to go out, and I think that's awesome because it kind of almost conveys that transference of power all the way up the saber, through into the emitter and into the blade. Awesome. Let's take a look at it in the dark. I think they did right. I think they did right by Darth Maul by reintroducing him and giving him this lightsaber. I don't care too much about how he got it. I don't mind. that they don't tell us, but it's an awesome lightsaber. I told you that I'd talk about these little bits. The original Darth Maul hilt from the Phantom Menace. Let's take a look at the two side by side. In terms of length, the Shadow Collective has it here. I'd say it's got at least an inch on the top. If you're looking at this as an individual hilt, this is actually a very, very long lightsaber, just on its own. So the fact that we can make this double-ended lightsaber is actually pretty awesome. Before we put them together, the other thing that I'll do is very quickly compare the sounds. Does it have the same ignition sound? Does it have the same level of sound sensitivity? Or has it improved? One of the big differences is the way that they ignite. The original Maul's got a little bit more of the kind of classic smoothness, which sits again with the fact that this is something that's been laboured over, designed with care, whereas this is something that's just been cobbled together. In terms of the sounds, I'd say the Shadow Collection's maybe marginally more sensitive. But that's definitely got its own distinct set of sounds for the clash effects. Anyway, nobody's going to be interested in using these two as individual sabers. We want these as a double-ended lightsaber. So, let's see how we do it. First things first, you take your original Maul, you screw off this end cap. That'll give you your power core, 3 AAA batteries in this, but we want to keep that in there. So your Shadow Maul. Batteries are down here as well, so if you want to get to your batteries, you unscrew this entire end cap. That gives you your core, but there's actually a retention screw here, and this is where you need your Allen key, because this thing comes apart at this section here, and that then attaches to the connectors. I'll show you what I mean. You take your Allen key, unscrew, and away that comes. Now, if you pick one of these up and it's been sat brand new somewhere, don't be afraid if this is actually weirdly almost stuck together. Give it a little bash and it'll pop right off. That's what I had to do with mine. The connector also has teeth, very similar to the original head, so this thing can go now. This is going to go on here, and you see how it fits in those, and it goes, slots in those teeth there. So that goes like that, but you don't want to have that yet. Oh my goodness. What you want to do first, you want to attach it, if you're bothered about having the ignition switches lined up, that is, this is what you want to do. So there you have it. With it like that, you take that, you line this one up, you've got your ignition switches broadly in line, and get your teeth locked in. With it locked in, you're going to hold it in place, and you're now going to unscrew the Maul end. Seems like a faff, but it's worth it in the end. You're going to then keep this held in place, and you're going to take your retention screw and drop it in down there. And then screw that back into place. You now have your Shadow Maul with the connector on, and the reason for holding it in place is the positioning of the teeth correlates then with the thread here, and because you've already effectively set it up so you know where this is going to be once it screws on, in theory now when I screw this on, ba-ba, ignition switch, in line. That is now a beautiful double-ended lightsaber. I think this is an absolutely awesome piece as a double-ended lightsaber. There is a bit of a problem with the balance now. They don't weigh the same. They weren't built at the same time. They weren't designed. They weren't ever supposed to be together. He bashed them together. Even the coupler has a kind of industrial feel to it, and they've put these holes in primarily for the sound effects, but actually the holes line up with these exhaust style holes up here, and it works. But it's a cobbling together, it's a mishmash It's a mishmash of the old and the new. I really love it. I think it absolutely pops. Using it as a double-ended lightsaber is perfect. The lack of balance, you can explain it in canon. The sound effects for these are okay. In the dark, you know, they pick up just about enough. The Shadow Collective does pick up slightly more than the original variant, but I would expect that because it is a newer saber. There is still really no excusing Disney's lack of smooth swing on these sabers. I don't know when they're going to address it. I don't think they will at this point, but there you go. Personally, I love both of these designs, the original design and the new, you know, the Shadow Collective design. I love that exposed kyber crystal. So would I recommend adding this to your collection? Yeah, absolutely. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the original Maul or do you prefer the Shadow Collective version? Let me know in the comments below and I'll catch you next time.